Welcome to the OMG Show.
Yeah. Welcome to the OMG Show with your host, Oscar Garcia. And as you can tell, some improvements, some changes have been made. We have a nice little intro for you now. And it looks like I'm in a sauna, but really, I am in a van. This is going to be a long story I'll talk about some other time, but pretty much I'm living in a converted van. I purchased a commercial van, converted it into a mobile home / office over 4 months. And now I am traveling America, visiting the national parks, putting up pop-up marketing and business events throughout the country in the major cities that I go to. And so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I'll be sharing more details on that. But for now, I'm just glad to be back doing the podcast, the OMG Show. The past few months have been crazy and a lot has happened. But I've been getting a lot of questions in terms of how do I choose a market, right? So I want to start a business, but I don't know how to choose a market I want to get into. I have all these passions, I have all these interests, and I'm not really sure how to go about choosing a market that I want to start a business in. Well, don't worry, we've all been there. It's kind of funny, but the shiny object syndrome not only approaches or comes about whenever you already have a business and you're trying to figure out what best solution or what best path to take forward, but it also happens even before the business because you have so many options, right? There's so many markets out there, and for a lot of times it can feel like the market is too saturated, right? Like you might feel like you need a brand new idea, but don't let those ideas, get into your head and sink down too deeply to the point where you're like, never mind, I don't want to do this, right? Choosing a market pretty much comes down to a couple of basic things, in my opinion. Number one, it comes down to finding a market that you're at least interested in or passionate about. You don't need to follow your passion, but I believe that you need to be interested in the market in order for you to at least care about running a successful business. Okay, you want to be a part of something you care about, because that emotional attachment is going to allow you to do a lot of really cool things with your business down the road. Whereas if you didn't have that emotional attachment, it would be really easy for you to kind of just, wipe your hands, clean slate and go somewhere else. Whereas when you are attached emotionally, you kind of have more skin in the game. You're invested a little bit more. And that, for me, in my opinion, I believe like that it's going to push you to succeed even more than you already think you're going to be able to. So that'd be step one, right? Just find a market you're passionate about and or at least interested in. And to give you a perfect example, I'm not passionate about, for example, soccer. I'm interested in soccer. I like going to the games. I like the community and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not necessarily passionate about any particular team or the sport. However, my most successful client that I love working with is a soccer trainer, right? So again, you don't have to be passionate, but you at least have to be interested in the market. Now, second thing you got to look for when it comes to choosing a market is making sure that the market has both history, but also longevity, meaning that it's been around for a couple years, and more often than not, it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, right? So, for example, if you wanted to sell CDs, sorry, that market's not going to help. It's not going to be there. In fact, it's pretty much already gone. My cars don't even come with CD players anymore, right? So that's the thing. On the other spectrum, right, you have something like Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is this kind of new, exciting, emerging technology. Many people are unsure of it. Some people don't even understand it, like myself. But yet there's so much opportunity there, right? That would be a market that I perhaps wouldn't necessarily get into just because there hasn't been the history there yet. So you might think of this as kind of missing out on the boat. That's fine. I'd rather go and join something that's been secured. So, for example, what are some markets that, have history and longevity? Well, health and wellness, right? People always want to, for the past 50 years and even longer, have always cared about how they feel, how they look, um, what their health is, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you can look back at, old workout books from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. And more often than not, that isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. Okay. Sports are huge: basketball, soccer, football, baseball, tennis, golf. All of these different sports have been around for years, and more often than not are going to continue to be here for the foreseeable future, right? Real estate is another one. A lot of different services uh, are going to have some history to it, but also are going to have some longevity going down the road. So the reason why you want that is because you want something that has an established marketplace already for it. That way, you're not the pathfinder. You're not starting anything new and taking on all the risk. What you're looking for is, okay, what have people been doing for the past X amount of years, and how can I do it differently? Right? That's kind of what you want to look at. And then you have kind of the future, knowing that the marketplace is still going to be there and for you to test different things, to try different things, to find your own path in that marketplace. You want to have that stability. Okay. In a new market, you don't have that stability because everything is new. You have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea how people are going to react. So it's very hard to adapt to the situation. Whereas in a nice proven market, right, it might be highly competitive, but at the same time, it allows you to adapt. You can move faster, okay, in a crowded marketplace. All right, because typically you'll see what everyone else is doing, and by you doing something different, you automatically stand out. Now, it's not 100% of the cases where that's true, but for the most part, that's kind of where I would urge you to kind of think about and take a step forward to. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to take a look at too when it comes to finding a market is finding a market that people are passionate about. Okay. You want to have a market where there's tons of people and they're actively engaging in a community. They're sharing content. They're sharing their opinions. They're debating each other. They're going back and forth. Those kind of markets are awesome. And the reason why is because it allows you to take advantage of what's already happening. And what's already happening is a ton of engagement. Okay, so that's another word to think of, or another phrase to think about. That is kind of like, word of mouth marketing, which is the best kind of marketing there is. If you enter into a market and, you make a splash, people are going to talk about it. So to kind of give you an example, right, again, using soccer, when I was working with this one client, we created a blog, like what your soccer coach won't tell you. And we advertised it to the soccer community. The soccer community are probably like some of the most passionate people. Their egos are way up there. I mean, it's awesome in terms of a marketplace. Okay. And the amount of virality that happened on that blog post was crazy. I mean, it was like, we were getting leads for like 17 cents a pop. We were getting customers, very cheap from that one blog post. It was shared, I believe, like over 1 million times, or not shared, but at least exposed to 1 million or even 2 million people. I mean, it was just crazy the amount of uh, feedback or engagement that we got by posting to a passionate audience. Okay. Now, to give you another example, one time I had worked with someone who wanted to reach home care owners, right? So a sub niche of a sub niche. So we have caregivers and then we have home care owners. And, while there are home care owners, they're just not a passionate group in terms of something that you can market to automatically online. And there was a real struggle trying to find, our ground and how to actually penetrate this market so we can get our message in front of the right people, right? And the reason why is because the passion wasn't there inside of that market. So again, what you want to look for is a market that you're interested in, right? That way you can at least care and have some emotional investment into it. At the same time, you want to make sure that market has both a history and also has longevity, right? For example, video games have been around for a long time and they probably will continue to be there. So that might be a good market for you to join. But last but not least, you want to make sure that the people in that market are passionate. Okay. If you can kind of follow these 3 tips when you're analyzing where you want to get into, you're going to find some relatively good success, because you're going to be able to find a ton of research, which you can use on your copy, on your ads. You're going to be able to see what your competitors are doing and figure out how you can differentiate yourself and go against the herd, go against the tide, if you will. But more often than not, you're going to be able to build a stronger community of people because the passion is already there. Okay. It's already there. You don't have to cultivate it. You just got to give them a different means or something else to talk about, and then they'll run with it. All right. So that's it. When it comes to choosing a fresh market, look at those 3 steps, and I, guarantee you're going to be able to find something that you feel comfortable in, that you can move forward with in confidence. Now, if you like this episode of the OMG show, make sure you check out oscarmgarcia.com/free to get my free gift to you. It's my complete, or I should say ultimate, automatic sales system for online businesses. It's going to show you the 4 proven methods that you need to have in your business to pretty much run it on autopilot. All right. I love it. People that have opted in have said they love it too. So I hope you enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. I'll catch you here next time. And be on the lookout for the van tour. It might come to a city near you. Would be more than happy to see you in person. Bye, everyone.